Hello, everybody. Hopefully this is coming through okay. Actually, 1 second, real quick. One thing I forgot to check. Pop out for one moment. All right, that is a little awkward. Tried to up the resolution from 720 here. I was rightly called out the other day for only streaming in 720, and my apologies for doing so. However, the streaming software does not seem to want to cooperate with upscaling at all. So I think that's what we're going to be left with here. This is a grumpy old guy, and we're going to do some gaming today. I gotta admit, I am very taken aback in the most pleasant of ways with the overwhelming support I've gotten for this little revamp of Wizardry Proving Grounds of the Mad Overlord, Digital Eclipse, revamping the Surtech 1980s legendary dungeon crawler. And I have to admit, I've seen numbers that just made my eyes bug out of my head on this little corner of digital space I like to call home. So thank you all for that. I do hope you have enjoyed your little stop by my corner of the digital world. And we're going to continue on with this little wizardry adventure. I was planning on showing our de facto C team as they gained a couple levels first, but life is once again getting in the way, and I did grind some levels to get the B team ready. So we are going to go for the rescue mission live tonight. Let's go ahead and populate the party. As you can see, Grumble is up to level 11, Talon at 10. We're going to put in Cynic in our third spot here, followed by Draven and Deleased. And we're not going to take Deleased, actually. Let's go ahead and leave Deleased at home. And let's add Sathon to the party. There is a reason we are leaving Deleased. It's because we're not going in for Fortune and Glory this time. This is a rescue mission. There have been several channels that have done an extraordinary job at showing this. But for those who are unaware, when you go into the dungeon for a rescue, your party members will very much be alive somewhere in that dungeon. And you kind of have to go and fish them out. One by one. I vaguely remember the coordinates they were at. I do believe everyone is set and ready to go. Let's go ahead and enter the maze, and we will take a look at our rescue party here. I have not attempted any floor lower than the 4th with this party, so. But as we camp here, let's go ahead and inspect our characters one by one. Grumble has gotten good and strong here, all the way up to 92 hit points. For whatever reason, the game is reading armor class 0 as armor class low. That just seemed to start today that I noticed. That 40 on the resolve save is a nice number. Moving to Telner. Level 10 Samurai, also maxed out the strength stat. Saves, not super impressive, but we have some spells of note. In fact, a couple Mahalito made grinding super easy because Telner strikes very early in the encounter. And a lot of times that fire spell helps a good bit. Just clearing out some enemies and getting some chip damage on things like gash dragons and whatnot. Cynic all the way up to level 6 magics over here as he's reached level 11 cleric. That gives us Lorto, the Blades spell. Wonderful because it's really not super elemental. I don't know if Blades has an element attached to it or if it's just straight damage. You have Mabadi, which is... It seems like an extremely powerful spell, as it's going to take a ton of hit points away from a single tanky enemy, taking it all the way down to between 1 and 8 hit points left. And then there's Lock to Feet, which is a continuation of what you've seen in other games here. We have a warp spell, probably one we're never going to use. It's going to teleport the entire party back to the castle. However, all of the equipment and gold on their persons will be left behind. So that is a bit of a reason for pause. I suppose there isn't anything aside from Sathon's Staff +2 that would really be terribly missed as far as the equipment goes, but I'm not a big fan of that option nonetheless. And especially not of losing the gold, because with it being pooled gold and all, I'm not sure what all we'd lose if that would pull anything out of the stash that would otherwise be assigned to the characters. We're going to drop down to floor 4 here. Love these loading screens, by the way. Big old Viking dude. Not necessarily a Viking, but horned helmet. Not in the traditional Viking sense either, just what I thought of in the moment. Singular Gash Dragon, and we get a surprise round on them, so a good omen so far. Let's go ahead and have Cynic cast probably my favorite cleric spell at this point to lead off an adventure with. Maporfic. It's going to give a reduction of 2 points to the armor class for the entire party. And let's see what damage Grumble and Telner can put on this beastie. Not much. Telner just could not crack the armor class. Grumble, however, a dire strike there, 27 damage. And Telner comes back and makes good on his second swing. Takes out the Gash Dragon without much of a hassle. We're just going to leave that chest alone. This door gets unlocked with the blue ribbon. As you're looking here, we moved down from the first elevator. And we're coming to the second. Now we have 8 boring beetles. Not the most entertaining of foes by any stretch of the imagination. And yes, I know that's not what they mean. Let's go ahead, cast a Mahalito. Let's also cast a Matu. And we're just going to keep piling that damage on. If all else fails, we'll throw a Dilto on with Sathon, who usually acts at the end of the round. That's some solid damage right away from Telner. And Draven's going to follow up with another early Mahalito, and this battle is just about over. Just one lone, severely injured and armor class compromised beetle fails to hit Grumble, and Grumble returns the strike and makes good on his hit. Once again, ignoring the treasure chest. Now let's go down to the 9th floor. Getting a bit trepidatious here as we see the sort of fire warrior there. It's got to be a fire giant. Now, if you take a look, I don't have much of the 9th floor explored and not much of it mapped. We're going to head north. We're going to head up from the elevator, make our way through that little maze, and right inside the door to that first square room should be where our party is. Yeah, we actually have to be in that room, I believe. There's an encounter, and we have wyverns and 4 level 7 mages. This gives me a little bit of pause, but we at least weren't surprised. That's the problem we ran into last time. We got hit with the surprise round, and that was no good for us. Go ahead and use our other Mahalito. We're going to go ahead and throw a Bamatu on for the 4-point reduction in armor class. Chuck a second Mahalito at level 7 mages. I fear the wyverns. I detest the mages at this point. They're the ones that in a surprise round wiped the A team. Sathon has access to Lacanito, which has a chance to kill any monster in the group that doesn't make a successful save. And I want to give that a shot. I've also got this chance for another -4 armor class for the party. But I think we're going to go with the safe, sturdy, cold damage of Medalto to the wyverns here. Get a good damage chip on them to start out. And without further ado, here goes combat. Okay, it looks like we got lucky. The whole party is going to act before the monsters. Took out 4 of the 5 mages and 1 of the wyverns. Okay, I can live with that. I can absolutely live with that. Level 7 mage didn't even try attacking. Put Grumble on a wyvern. Talner on a mage. Cynic on a wyvern. Let's have Draven cast a Delto on the wyverns. And just a regular Dalto for the wyverns this time from Sathon. Talner took out the mage before it could be an issue. Cynic got a hit in on the wyverns, so I was right. That Delto enough to make sure that Cynic, who in his own right is a capable fighter, was able to do something of merit. Get 1 wyvern down, and then we get some more out of the road. Huge chunk of experience there, and another treasure chest that we will have to leave behind. We have 1 non-party character in this room, which means the rest, I guess, were drugged to other parts of the labyrinth, I suppose. Let's go ahead, add to the party. It is Dionysius. Definitely a quality addition to the group. If we can get them rezzed. Back to the elevator we go. Back up to floor 4. We did get a little bit of gold on the 4th floor, so it wasn't a complete loss. Then back up to floor 1. Honestly, as far as trips to the 9th floor goes, that's about as good as we could hope. It is funny to think that through 10 levels, there's a total of 1 hit point difference between my 2 bishop characters. I keep wanting to say wizard. I apologize. That is the NES port in me coming out. Let's take him to the temple. 2,500. Let's murmur, chant, pray, and hope. The resurrection was successful. So fantastic. We are 1 of 1 on that. Let's just go ahead, take him into the maze. Let Cynic heal him up and refresh at the end, and then we'll go back and try and find another member of the party. It worries me that the other 4 were drug elsewhere. I'm going to have to carefully sort of weave my way through. Honestly, I know the theory behind the rescue mission. This is my first successful rescue in this game. Normally, it's just time to create new characters. People may have picked up looking at my party builds that there's a good deal of redundancy. With very few exceptions, I tend to keep the same sort of class balance. I almost always create they're very similar parties. I'll occasionally vary on what races some of the classes get for early game buffs and everything. The way that this remake has the ability to add stats on level up rather than the random system, you don't have to try terribly hard to optimize your picks, and that gives you a bit of build variety. However, I'm still sort of partial to doing things the old-fashioned way and trying to get things... Sorry, I lost myself in a train of thought there. It's been a long day. But try to get things set in as redundant and consistent a manner as possible. Okay. Dionysius has been saved. Part of our .hack dungeon crawl team. Let's go back to the inn. Time to hit the stables for some free XP measurement. And to the tavern where we will drop Dionysius off. And yeah, let's head back in and see if we can find a second. This is going to be interesting. So as far as redundancy goes, you actually get a rather neat sort of named party of level 2 characters when you start playing this game. In the NES port, you simply got characters named Fighter 1, Fighter 2, Mage 1, Thief 1, Priest 1. And the reason they were labeled in such a way A was it was a nice, simple, generic name, and B, it sort of got you very used to the fact that characters will come and go here. You don't want to get too attached, especially when you're learning the ropes to the game, because death is going to be a thing and resurrection is not guaranteed. Inversely, younger me took the wrong lesson from that and decided that if the game found my characters disposable, I would also find characters disposable. So when characters died or when I needed to equip a new party, I tended to just make groups of 6 fighters to sell off the equipment, pool the gold, and then trade the gold off to one of the actual characters I was planning on using. Not the most honorable way of handling things, I know, but you'll have this. Going to have frontline, go ahead. Telner and Grumble will fight the Were-Rats. Cynic's going to cast a Morphic. Draven and Sathon are both going to throw Mahalitos at the Coyotes, as fire is the one thing they don't resist. And oh, do they not resist it. 2 solid kills on the Were-Rats. I am good with that. That is some quality spell casting from the team. The crazy thing is, while I was grinding levels this morning, I didn't come across a single treasure chest. Now it seems like we can't do without. So last time we checked the very first room and then we checked our target room and we only found 1 person. Still nobody here. Let's try this door. Nobody in this room. It was a hope. Another encounter is with a frightening creature. That surprised us. That looks like a Medusa. It is a life stealer. Don't know what that's all about and would feel better if I didn't. So let's go ahead. Throw a Matu down. I feel like this is the kind of character that's going to be resistant to most things. So let's go ahead, Delto, and Delto again. And the reason I'm doing that is no matter what, it's going to give me a 4-point better chance at hitting. So hey, Telner did a heck of a job right away. Life Stealer didn't seem to do too much. That was a work in progress animation, so I wasn't expecting a whole ton there. Nobody else in the room. Into the next. Now we get 6 frightening creatures. These are not Life Stealers. This seems to be a Night Stalker. Okay. These seem much more martial in nature, so we're going to Bama-2. And we're going to Ma-2 as well off of Draven, so that's 6 points to the better for our armor class. And a little bit of Madalto, courtesy of Sathon. They got one hit on Grumble for 4 damage. Don't seem to like ice all that well. Yeah, got a couple quality kills in there. Also notice that both Grumble and Telner are eligible for level up. So that's encouraging. Oof, that one Night Stalker is barely hurt at all. Let's see if Draven and Saphon can learn anything about them while we go through here. Nothing yet. Grumble got the kill. Nope. Nothing new on the Night Stalker. I'm seeing a skeleton icon on the old wireframe, so I'm assuming that means they're undead. Oh, we got level drained. So if you get hit by a Night Stalker, you done get level drained. Got it. No party members here. More bad news for us, I guess. No party members. I wonder if the others are just perma-lost now. I suppose that is a real possibility. Wow, and they were so ready to level up, too. It's crazy. Got a large humanoid coming up here. And that is an Ogre Lord. Grumble and Telner are both going to fight. We're definitely going to bomb a 2 here. It's an Ogre Lord. So I get the feeling that Catino shouldn't work, but I have no reason to believe that it won't. If that makes sense. Actually, you know what? We're going to do things a little differently here. Let's have Cynic have some fun with high-level magics. We don't do that very often. We will try a Mabadi or a Mabadi. Mabadi is more fun to say. I'm going to stick with that. Mabadi. Of course, from the spell trio, Mibidi, Mabadi, Moo. And we'll go with a Masopic, the big glass spell from Sathon. Yeah, Catino is ineffective. What do you know? Worth a shot. Wow. Ogre Lord's got some spells to him. They weren't quite good enough, though. Okay, we got to carefully make our way back here. Floor 4. Level 3 ninjas? Well, that's rough. At least we got the surprise round. Not going to put too much effort into this. Just going to throw a Mahalito and a Medalto. I'm pretty sure the Medalto is going to do more than enough damage, but a little insurance fire damage never hurt anything. Little extra experience for Telner and Grumble, who Suddenly need it. And back up to the first floor we go. That was a bummer. Four kobolds ambushing us on our way out. Not the scariest thing we'll ever face. We'll just do straight attacks. Get a couple runners. I'm fine with that. I think we picked up 130 some. 166, that's right, because there's only 5 members in the party right now. Okay, time to go a healing. We're actually setting up for another nice clean round, albeit with some level drain. And that Ogre Lord knew how to cast some spells. So yeah, you get a real good feel for the kind of danger we're in on that 9th floor. Throw some dial, or dial, if you so choose. One more. There we are. We live to fight another day. Hit in. Level drain, never fun. Let's go to the training grounds and inspect our roster here. Still says that Gogs and Grumpo Guy and the rest of them are in the maze. So I can only assume we haven't pushed far enough. Back in we go. Yeah, don't neglect your character's agility. Going first is a huge advantage in this game. That is certainly true. I see the level down also fixed their armor class. It's no longer reading low, it's back to just 0. I keep wanting to head up because that's how I've been grinding, just going back and forth from the alarm. I should have thought to cast, but I didn't. We're just going to run away from that encounter since we had the surprise round. Wow. It actually ran us quite a bit away from that encounter. That's crazy. I thought it was just going to back us up a step. That went way down the hall. Remind me to never do that again. Also not going to waste time on a Montino because, 1, the priestesses usually do that first, and 2, they don't seem to get hit with it all that often. Yep, there it is. Okay. 2 kills and a damage. I'm happy with that. None of our characters can cast this round, but we weren't really planning on it anyway. Another treasure chest. It's like the game could... Anytime you leave a thief out of the party, I guess all treasure comes in treasure chests. Got a surprise round, and we're not going to do the runaway thing again. We have uncovered a bit more information about the Gash Dragons, like the base armor class of 3 and the hit point range. And while I don't have it expressly laid out there, I do know they're not the biggest fans of taking fire damage. So we'll throw a couple Mahalitos their way as well. And yeah, killed with damage to spare. Yet another treasure chest. Who knew? Okay, I guess every room, we're just going to go ahead and click that old triangle button. Five Ogre Lords. Oh no. That's a problem. But we're going to try and solve our problems like all rational parties do, and that's with violence. Throw a Mahalito, throw a Lorto, throw another Mahalito, and throw a Dalto. That's 4 board-wide damage spells of 3 different elements. Let's see what we get out of this. Nice damage. Couple kills. Okay, I'm happy with that. Very happy with that. And another treasure chest. I know the 9th floor is where you can pick up all kind of good loot. But gosh, would it stop rubbing it in our faces. I wonder if it has to be I wonder if you have to be on the exact coordinates now that I'm thinking about it. Getting 4 strange animals. These are Chimera. We haven't identified them yet, but they're definitely Chimera. See? Knew that was coming. Chimera should be resistant to fire. So the blade spell is really going to come in handy now. But again, only if it hits. Does it actually come in handy? Let's throw a Matu on there. And let's throw a Madalto. Okay, solid. Nice. Took it all down. Anybody see that treasure chest coming? Surprised the heck out of me. Two more Ogre Lords. I suppose that was also bound to happen. Don't want to be messing around with these guys too much, but we're quickly running out of magical potency here. So we just got to do what we got to do. Let's try a Manifo. Slightly higher than Catino as far as spell level, also divine rather than arcane. Yeah, let's throw a Dalto out just for some insurance damage. Manifo was incredibly ineffective. Okay, awesome. Ogre Lord chose violence and chose incorrectly. Let's try inspecting the enemy a little. Doesn't seem we learned anything new. They're just tough as all get out. Another treasure chest. Yet another thing we totally weren't prepared for. I wonder if they can get drugged to different floors as well. See, this is all incredibly new to me. Normally, I'm not successful enough to make it to the 9th floor. Get ourselves mapped a little bit more here. Also going to refer to my cheater map here. Something I've actually forgot was a thing, even though it's sitting in the window right next to the gameplay for me. One strange animal. That's going to be the big monitor lizard Komodo dragon looking thing that I failed to identify last time, and this is a gaze hound. Looks very different from the gaze hound in Wizardry Tale of the Forsaken Land. We'll try inspecting it. Going to put some faith in my fighters on this one. And faith in my fighters was indeed worthwhile. Survey says treasure chest. Interesting. A friendly group of master thieves. I will leave them in peace. A friendly group of level 10 fighters. We wore the right aftershave this run. It's about all I can honestly say. Well, that was bound to run out sooner or later. 6 wyverns on the attack. I love that animation where they drop down. Wyvern animation, very cool. Also, wyvern's my least favorite thing since Dragon Quest. Yes, Dragon Warrior, the original. Hated him that long. Never gonna stop. Okay. Let's try a Leto Khan. You know what? Let's hold off on that because that's a healing magic level. Let's just do a Lorto. Lorto and Medalto. And one wyvern still survives. Crazy. Well, Telner, make sure that's taken care of. And yeah, we got fully traits on the Wyvern. Resistant to sleep, and it in fact does poison. Saw that coming. Queue up some Latumofus. And yeah. Our hunt for Dead October continues. And instead we find a Life Stealer. Got a surprise round on it. Now let's throw some chip damage in with 2 Halitos. We could try investigating the monster. We could try many things. Again, I choose violence. Nice. Nice clean kill. No levels down, right? No levels down, but a treasure chest. Because we got a treasure chest, right? Still no dice. This is crazy. We get an Archmage and 2 Master Thieves. Both enemies we've faced before, and definitely not sad about the surprise round. Put Grumble on a Master Thief. You know what? No. Grumble and Telner are both going on the Archmage because I want that Archmage out of town. Just flat out out of town. Bama 2 by Cynic, and we're going to throw twin Dilto spells in the direction of the Master Thieves and make their armor class just that much more reachable. Or as we say in my neck of the woods, actually reachable. I will apologize for anybody tuning in live. For whatever reason, comments not showing up for me on this stream. Really got to figure this stuff out. Been a while since I've done the streaming thing regular. And it's just not working super smooth for me these past 2 times. But we'll get it figured out eventually. Speaking of figuring things out, let's try inspecting these Master Thieves. Base AC of 3, that makes sense. Okay. Keep inspecting. Nope. Did not get the final bit deduced, but we do have a base AC. And we got gold, which is the most we could hope for at this point. I'm very nervous going forward because we are running woefully, sinfully low on magic spells. So that square... No, I'm not quite sure what I'm looking at here. Let's go ahead and cast a Duma pick. By all accounts, that square there, if I'm looking at this old map right, should be a teleport to the 10th floor. Should be. I don't know if there's anything I have to unlock for it, but I also don't want to head down to the 10th if I don't have to right now. I honestly can't believe we can't find other party members. I'm going to keep searching every step back that we take. And I think I'm going to have to do a bit more research here. For anyone who thought that the thing glitched there, I actually just hit the triangle button as the animations were loading in, and that toggles the health bars on. Got Vorpal bunnies, a were-rat, and some coyotes. Coyotes are already thinking better of this battle. The Vorpal bunnies are the scariest part of the surprise round, because if you were not aware, they are more than just a joke monster. They are a joke monster that could bite your head off. Have Telner go after the coyote. Have Cynic protect our poor fledgling armor classes. Draven can join in the fun there. Yeah, let's throw a Dalto at the Vorpal bunnies. I don't remember them being super high hit point. And now the bunnies are running. So we're going to waste this big old spell on one bunny. But still worth it in my opinion. Still worth it. So it's obvious that characters can be drugged elsewhere. I just have to wonder if they can get drugged down to the 10th floor. Okay, we made it just outside the steps. Time to get Cynic to work on these final cures. All in all, we didn't take a ton of damage down that run. We explored quite a bit of floor number 9. Unfortunately, we were unsuccessful, finding 5 of the 6 missing party members. Our guildmates will have to wait for another try here. But Draven is close to another level up, and we have found Dionysius for what it is worth. I do believe that we are going to drop our party off at the tavern for now, and this is going to do it for this stream. Hopefully it's been an enjoyable one. I do hope you guys have enjoyed the streams thus far and this game in general. I'm going to go ahead in the YouTube description for the stream here for the VOD and put a link to the Steam page for Wizardry for those who are interested in picking it up. Obviously not sponsored or anything, just a cool game that I love. I absolutely love the way that this remake is going, and I hope it gets all the success it possibly can. I do hope this turns on people who may not have seen a game like this before, and really turns them onto these old school dungeon crawlers. And who knows? I know there's a fair bit of legal red tape and whatnot involved with ownership and everything of the other Wizardry titles, but maybe down the road, Digital Eclipse might just get a chance, I hope, someday to do at least the next 2 volumes, as the first 3 Wizardry games were all kind of in a set together. In fact, they were scenario discs. You could actually import your party from Volume 1 to Volume 2, and I believe Volume 3, you could import your party from Volume 2, but your characters would be descendants of them. So a really cool thing. For those of you who know my .hack videos and my fandom with that, one of the things I loved about Infection, Mutation, Outbreak, and Quarantine was that you could transfer your character data throughout the 4 games and keep progressing with your character. The same thing with EverQuest Champions of Norath, being able to import your character from the first game to the second, being returned to arms. So it's fun to think that 40 years ago, that idea was already prevalent in the RPG space. I think I've rambled more than enough for any human being to have to tolerate, and if you've made it through all of this, thank you, you're amazing. This has been a grumpy old guy gaming. Off to get some sleep. Take care. We'll see you around.